Okay then. So, the microphone that was not supposed to be here until 5 o'clock tonight got here early. So we are going to play some Subnautica. While we wait to find out what the next retro game is. And whether we ultimately decide to stick to the to Classic Warwind and just play through a different faction, move on to Warwind 2, or play something else that probably isn't Tyrion, because that really doesn't work very well. Of course, whether Subnautica is going to work very well is another question entirely. So I think where we left off last time, we've just built the Cyclops. We've got a couple of things that we need to do. We need to go find the rest of the alien facilities and work out what's going on with the fact that we seem to be very badly infected. We also need to find the rest of the fragments of the PRAWN suit. So we found 2, and I think we have all of the parts for all of the tools for the PRAWN suit. We just actually need to be able to build the suit itself. And we might also need to finish building our base down to the little volcanic area underneath and get some thermal power in. But that's going to take a lot of lead, because building that deep is going to really weaken the base. Okay. So let's see what we've got. And dump everything in a locker. Let's also go and say hello to the cuttlefish, who appears to largely just be spinning. Interestingly, the cuttlefish doesn't appear to have contracted the disease. I'm not entirely sure why. And, of course, what is an alien containment without a tame bone shark? Which, for no apparent reason, you are allowed to pick up. Okay. We're probably also going to want some food at some point on this journey. Come on. Oh, the other thing that we need to do, we need to make sure that we have enough power cell chargers set up in the base, because we've clearly got plenty of batteries, but when we start trying to get down to places like the alien thermal plant, we're going to need to make sure that the Cyclops has enough power to get there and back. But for the moment, I would guess we're probably fine. Can we actually work out where the Cyclops is a good question. Ah, there it is. We also need to rename it, because it was kind of named as a joke in the last episode of SubNanigans. And yeah, hopefully there's less general background noise and awfulness from the microphone now, which I was playing around with the settings a little bit and it seemed like it was probably okay. But, oh yeah. The Cyclops has gotten a lot more complicated since the early releases. And back in the days when you could just start driving it and there was no noise level or silent running mode or any of that business. Just straightforward, get in a submarine and go driving. Now, the So yeah, the Prawn Bay itself is over in the underwater islands. It was that big wreck that we had that kind of bridges the two islands together where all the bone sharks are. So I'm thinking we're probably best off there, or starting there at least, and trying to find more fragments. If anybody is watching and has suggestions, feel free to let me know. I refuse to look it up, because that would be cheating. I think actually on this game so far, I've tried not to use knowledge I've had from earlier games where there was less story. So it's all been played through so far, following the actual messages that you get as you get them. You didn't warn me about that one then? But yeah, this is not the easiest submersible to pilot through the shallows. But until I actually get round to making a compass and knowing where I'm going, it's pretty much the best bet. Because I think this is the right direction for the islands. Giant mushroom trees. Back in the day when that was the only thing you could use to power the bioreactor. I'm not sure what was going on over there. Go over and have a look. Oh, this is this that giant tree that has all sorts of stuff, or is this a ruin on top of a mushroom tree? That's bizarre and interesting, and I don't think we've explored this yet. Time for a detour. Should have also probably brought some bottles of water with me. That would have been a sensible thing to do. Okay, that's just a modification station. We don't really care. Laser cutter. No, laser cutter, please. Well, thankfully, we also have the super high capacity oxygen tank, so we've got like 3.5 minutes worth of oxygen. Which, even with the reduced efficiency you get for the depth, is fine for most things, I think. Although it's really, really confusing having all of the ruins tilted sideways. Cyclops fragments, which I'm relatively confident we don't need. I mean, we may as well scan them just for the titanium while we're here, but all in all, this doesn't seem to be a massively useful area for us, which is a little bit disappointing, if I'm honest. A light stick fragment again. It's like hoping there might be a plant shelf. Ooh, a regular door. Let's see if there's anything interesting. Oh, also we should probably think about trying to go get some air again. Since I just noticed that we are starting to run out. But that's easy enough to do. What's this say? Danger. Oh, airlock access point below. Fair enough. I mean, that's kind of what we wanted, I guess. So I'm not sure the warning was helpful. No, door is here. Is there anything interesting in here? Ooh. Thermal... Oh, that will be really handy, actually. That means we may not need so many power cells. Because if we can actually just drive the Cyclops down to the big avian thermal plant, we can probably then get it to recharge itself. Ooh, you can also apparently clip through there, which doesn't seem correct, but, you know, never mind. See, this really would have been an area that it would have been nice to know about before. When I was desperately trying to find all of the Cyclops fragments. It does look like it's an area devoid of prawn fragments, which is what we really want right now. I mean, to be fair, more just for the sake of finally being able to say I've built a prawn suit, but, you know, it is a part of the game that I've not yet managed to do. Ever. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything else interesting there. So, let's go back to prawn hunting, I guess. As I suppose if we do ever desperately need food, we've got the thermoblade, so we've always got the option of just stab a fish. Which is... Actually, that would be an interesting one. If you build the thermal reactor module for any of the submersibles, and then start attacking it with a thermoblade, can you recharge the batteries? Hello, jelly rays. At least this thing is big enough that the bone sharks should probably leave us alone. But I guess we'll find out. That's definitely not a good button to have in silent running mode. Didn't even realise it was there before. What? Oh, also our crush depth is only 500 metres in this thing at the moment, which is not terribly useful. We probably want to build some modules for that, given that at the moment the Seamoth has a better crush depth. And the problem with the Seamoth is... Well, one of the problems with the Seamoth is that it's too susceptible to just being destroyed by things. We run over the crab squid? Or, no, okay, the crab squid is big enough to be dangerous on the radar. Oh, it can probably EMP still, can't it? Just EMP the entire sub. Which would be awkward, to say the least. Okay, no, I thought that was another ruin for a moment, and it's just some torn terrain. We can always still keep an eye out, see if we can find anything on the way back that's going to look like it will successfully give us prawn fragments. Also, build the build the Pathfinder thing and try and actually explore through this giant mushroom tree. Because it does look interesting in there, and I'd like to see if there's anything actually worth finding. For the moment... It's interesting, the horn doesn't adjust the sound profile at all. I guess because it's not on for long enough, but... Okay. And you can't just hold the horn down. actually might be faster from here to just take the Seamoth. Not like back in the day when you could do really silly things and like build planters on the Cyclops to grow fruit, when lantern fruit would basically make you last forever. Cooked rabbit ray. Yeah, so we need to try and get Cyclops depth modules and Cyclops thermal modules, and then we can actually start exploring places. I'd also like to know if there's a thermal suit or something, or if actually you're supposed to build the prawn suit before you go to the thermal plant. Just because last time I went there, it turned out to be so hot you just take continual damage. Until you actually get into the building itself, which is suboptimal, to say the least. Okay. Ooh. Turn the engine off, save power, given that we don't have any spare power cells or chargers at the moment. Okay, cool. So you can use that to load creature decoys, I guess. Oh, okay, so that gives you direct access to the Seamoth upgrades from inside. There are some really nice additional features now, which I'm kind of finding as I go through. But apparently there's no fabricator here? Oh no, okay, so there is a fabricator. So depth 1 is a plasteel ingot and 3 rubies. Engine efficiency we probably want. Butajet, benzene, polyaniline. Okay, so thermal reactor, we actually need to go to the thermal plant to get the kyanite, or however you're supposed to pronounce it. Okay. But certainly we can start making depth modules. Or a depth module, since they don't stack. Glowy. Yeah. You need, like, player efficiency modules so that you don't have to keep eating so much. Oops. I accidentally start putting my tools away. Ion batteries. Identified creature egg. I'll probably put that in containment. 2 ion power cells. 3, 4... In fact, we've got 5 ion power cells, which would be useful. Don't know. Only 2 rubies by the looks of it. That's awkward. That means we need to go finding more rubies. Fine. Let's go drop this creature egg first. Silly spadefish breeding. I don't actually really want you to breed, I'm just examining you all. What's that look like? A boomerang? Maybe? We'll find out later, I guess. Yeah, so if we go take the sea moth, we should be able to go find more rubies. You'll probably actually make the plasteel. We might not be able to because we're going to need more lithium as well, aren't we? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know we had at least one lithium just now. Okay, we have exactly one lithium, which is not enough lithium. So we need lithium by the bucket load and rubies. Cyclops upgrades. Steel ingot, so we're going to need 3. I thought actually we had already made the level 1 Seamoth upgrade, Cyclops upgrade. I can't see one in here. Random ion cube. Okay. Maybe we only made the titanium ingot, if we even made that. Okay, so we have basically nothing that we need at the moment, which does not help with the general effort. Also, yes, all the submarines are named after the Little Mermaid characters. So, I know we can find rubies over by the horrible Bataki crab squid place. I don't know what it's actually called. Where did we find the lithium before? We need to... This is why we need the prawn suit. We need the prawn suit so we can start finding lithium deposits that will let us build the plasteel ingots that we probably need to build the prawn suit, which is not remotely circular. I think we've probably harvested most of the lithium that we've seen so far. But you never know, we might find something somewhere. Okay. Yes, well done. I think we also found, didn't we, that actually it was really hard to see the lithium until you were close to it as well. Yeah, so much of this at the moment is just trying to get ready to not be dead. There's, yeah, the power cell charger, which we don't need, but never mind. I would also much rather pick up more lead ore, because at least lead ore we can use to make the what are they called that you build buildings on? Foundations. Oh, apparently I missed a PDA down here. Okay, we are also getting low on oxygen, and I should probably pay more attention to that, particularly at this depth. So if we had a prawn suit, that would give us presumably some lithium. I mean, it looks like it should give you loads, but yeah, we just need to get only another 18 fragments worth of prawn suit, and then we can find out how we actually make one. There's one lithium. So now we've got enough for an ingot. 2 more, and we should have enough to get the depth modules we can actually make right now. But I would prefer to be prepared for when we actually have things like kyanite and we can make more. It just seems much more useful. Okay, so shale outcrops also give you lithium. Good to know. And the problem is you don't know what's in them until you break them. What were you just trying to scan? I'm not imagining that, right? It was flashing up the little scanner symbol for something. It's not shuttlebugs, I've already done shuttlebugs. What on earth was it flashing that up for? Yeah, that was weird. Actually, I should probably also... Ooh, crud. Did not even see those there. Well, I thought I did see a shale outcrop down here somewhere. Although I would also prefer to not be shot by plants. I never particularly fancied myself as a main character in a John Wyndham novel. Which, for anybody far too young to remember that, is where Day of the Triffids is from. Which were weird, horrible plants that could stab people or something. They were strange. Probably why I like it, to be honest. I never claimed to be normal. I've also still not worked out the purpose of those vents. Did we scan one of these before? Yes. So we should be able to at least see something about them in the data. Let's just have a look and see if that does tell you anything remotely useful about... Be advised, it's a 3-person crew. Well, I guess I'm going to have to practice. Leviathans. Oh, Sea Treader. Okay, so I think there may be a slight issue in this. This is not a bipedal Leviathan. At best, it's tripedal, right? Oh, okay, these are all the extra Degassi things that I found. And I'm clearly missing at least one. So we're going to have to go back to the floater island at some point as well. Lifepod 7, I think we've actually been to anyway. Aurora survivors. Scanner and voice log. Don't care. Keen's voice log. Probably don't care either. Alien data. Okay, that's the... Okay. Interesting. Alien vent. Okay. I mean, can we, like, go in there? No. So presumably we need to actually find where that's going at some point as well, which could be interesting. Can we, like, throw another type of fish in? Like, I know it said that peepers are fine, but, like, if I throw this Reginald into the vent, what's it? Okay, it just escapes. That was boring. I obviously wasn't trying to torture a fish, I was just curious as to what would happen. Like, I'm sometimes not sure what this game expects you to do at times to get data and information and work out what's going on. So I'm vaguely curious about what those are. If they are just like bigger versions. Oh, yeah, okay, they're unpleasant. And they are much too spidery for my liking. I mean, okay, I know they've only got 4 legs, not 8, but still, it's not the number of legs that matters. Do not want diamonds. Give me more lithium, please. Ah! Yeah, we do need to be able to take a vaguely sensible submarine to real depths to go exploring other places. And we need to remember to take ion cubes if we go exploring alien places as well. Just because it's really handy to be able to have the teleport system to come back again. Ooh. Time capsule. Let's see what we get. Did that just give me a second sea glide? There's so much redundant stuff in time capsules. Although, if you know about them ahead of time, I guess you could use that to avoid spending resources making things. Lithium. We got. Okay. Probably want to try and get one more, just in case we do desperately need another plasteel ingot at some point. Not one more. Yeah, we've got one at the base, we've got 4 now, so yeah, we need at least one more for another plasteel ingot. I can do maths, honest. Anything interesting down here? It's very quiet down here, which is actually reasonably unusual for this game. I'm suspicious. Is this an interesting hole? That sounds wrong. Let me explore this hole. Can I make this any worse? Probably not. Okay, that sounds like one of the stupid Reaper things. Oh, is this that cave that we went into last time and I didn't actually realise there was a cave there? Hello, you're not teleporting me out of the moth, out of the sea moth. I mean, you can try, but I'm just going to run away. Maybe run over one of these because it deserves it. Okay. Apparently that's what they look like if you flatten them. Whoa, that was close. I would like up. Up would be great about now. No, that's not anything interesting. I think that's my biggest gripe with this game at the moment, is that even on the highest settings, you occasionally get like odd torn textures for a second. Unless it's reset my settings back down. Let's have a look at the graphics. Yeah, okay, everything. Why is this only medium? Nothing above high. Okay, that's not interesting. Okay, that's only got high and medium. Okay, let's see if that makes it any better overall. I mean, this machine should be able to handle it. That, I don't think, is even a consideration at this point. Is that not the thing I thought it was? Because I thought this was the Seamoth Bay. But I'm now beginning to think it might not be the Seamoth Bay. And I've probably been going past this so many times because it looked like the Seamoth Bay. Okay, more Cyclops fragments, which we still don't need. I'm vaguely curious about what else is down here. Is this just out? Yeah. So I'd still like to find more lithium, but I'd also like to not die. Would be. Ooh. No, that looks like it's probably Seamoth, actually, doesn't it? Okay, no, it's not Seamoth or Prawn, it's nuclear reactor. And my inventory is apparently full of titanium, probably. Spiked horngrass. When you like your grass both spiky and horny.
Passing 200 meters. Oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
Yes, yes, I know. This is why we have the giant O2 tank. I guess we might as well just head back, start building some Cyclops upgrades and see where we get to. Unless we actually pass over something interesting on the way. But that's probably not likely, honestly. We also, looking at it this way, probably need to be careful that we don't accidentally get eaten by a Leviathan. Which would be awkward on a hardcore save. I think I'm already on the second Seamoth on this save anyway. The first one being something nudged it from 198 meters to 201 meters while I was swimming around, and then it collapsed on itself. And then I realised I already had all the resources to build the depth upgrades for it. So I felt a little silly after that. So reef pack. Oh, that's the glass of the Cyclops that you can see from miles away. Hi. Apparently, sharks like floors. I don't know if they think floors are particularly tasty, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess. But how do we not have enough titanium for that? Okay, because we picked up a ton of gold and other crap. We don't need the silver right now, we only need 3 rubies. Okay. I might have to do a between streams sort of all of the storage at some point though, because it's getting very difficult to find anything. Okay. There's the plasteel. What else did we need? I already can't remember. Light stick. Silly prawn suit. Sea moth. Prawn suit. Cyclops upgrades. Here we go. So that's just plasteel and ruby, and then. Oh, that's engine efficiency, sure. Do we. Okay, yeah, so Cyclops 2 is just plasteel and nickel ore. I think. Do we have nickel ore? Got silver, more rubies. No, it doesn't look like we do have nickel ore. So, we'll have to get nickel ore at some point, which also renders the other plasteel ingot useless at the moment. We also need to actually go to the Cyclops to make it. Tom. Thank you. And it is, of course, conveniently on the other side. Okay, crush depth 900, which is not fantastic since that's the same as the sea moth, but it's fine. Has that egg hatched? Do we know what it was? Oh! It's a crash fish. I wonder if I could weaponize that. Cuttlefish! Hello! It's, you know, you always need a cuttlefish. Which is not a sentence you get to say very often in real life.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Okay, so how do we make the jars of assorted stuff? Okay, benzene's just blood oil. And that's gold and acid, which is deep shrooms and salt. We should be able to manage all of that. This is why we have entire grow beds full of random mushrooms. Salt and gold we need from here. I know we have some salt somewhere. And then computer chip I think we needed as well, didn't we, for the engine efficiency module for the Cyclops. Ooh, where is it? Yes, computer chip is 2 copper, 2 table coral and a gold. Do we still have table coral here, or do I need to go and find some more? I've got 1 table coral, although it doesn't look like we have any copper either, so we're going to have to go out anyway. Okay. Again, more places where the prawn suit would be handy, and the ability to just randomly drill into some copper. But anyway, see if we can find some stuff. So I remember when I first started playing this, back when things were a lot easier and you got given a lot more at the beginning, and like you only ever needed 2 lead in the entire game. I thought, there's always so much lead around, it doesn't need to be there. And now I never seem to have enough lead or copper. And I've probably harvested all the copper that was nearby already anyway. Or at least all of the readily harvestable copper. And yes, I know there are bone sharks around here, but I don't honestly care all that much. No, don't want titanium. Don't want silver either. I don't know why I even broke that. I guess it might give me lead. We do still need lead. Can you do anything useful, interesting with this, or is it just decorative? It's just decorative, fair enough. And a stalker, because why wouldn't there be, I guess? Okay, it looks like there is no more limestone there. It also looks like I'm being attacked. Never mind. Let us continue the journey to try and... Hello. Nope, still don't want titanium. Still don't want titanium. Do at least want lead. Really like right now though is more copper. I don't think that's a lot to ask for. Just like 2 measly pieces of copper so that I can try and actually use a submersible without it randomly running out of power somewhere inconvenient. Is this a life pod we knew about? Yes, this was life pod 7. Oh, apparently we haven't done life pod 7. Which has a toy car, because of course it does. Oh, yeah, sure.
Integrate new PDA data.
Yeah, okay. Like, fine? I've already got a cap. I don't need another cap. An unusual survival tool. Incompatible with protective environment suits. I mean, I'd kind of worked those things out already, but... Ooh, limestone. There is a slim chance of copper here. Again. Hooray! 1 out of the 2 that we actually need. I will have to take this lithium. I'm at a point now where lithium is something else that I'm not going to overlook any time I see it. And please stop shooting at me, your plants. I'm not like harvesting you, I'm not harming anything, I'm just casually picking up loose bits of metal. Also, raise the question again that I raised the other day. How does... Ow, okay, you can't pick those up. Fun fact. I mean, you don't know unless you try, right? There's always the possibility that maybe you can pick it up. Maybe you've got to try and like take it by surprise or something. I don't know. Just kind of hoping we could grow mesmers in a tank. Hooray! 2nd copper. Which means we can now go and get the table coral that we need. Get the table coral. Make the computer chip to make the engine efficiency upgrade for the Cyclops. So while we're here, let's just have a look at the scan data, orange tablet, research equipment, Aurora survivors, Crew 7. Oh, okay, that's why they have a car. Fair enough. I was wondering why they had the car, but, you know, it was accidental car, I think, is what we've learned. Accidental, incidental car. Oh, it's been a long day already, and it's only 10 past 11? Okay, we made some progress though anyway. The Cyclops can now dive to a halfway sensible depth. We're about to make it much more efficient to actually drive around, which is also a very useful thing for it, because it has a tendency to eat power. Might start expanding the foundations here as well before we finish for the day. I would like to build down more towards where we can get a thermal power plant running and have more consistent power for the base. I forgot we were still looking for table coral. And nobody reminded me. See, that's the thing. I have no memory, as anyone who has ever spoken to me for longer than about 10 seconds will tell you. You sit and forget what you're saying halfway through a sentence. It's not a sign that you're going to recall things for any period of time, really. How much inventory space have we got? Oh, we got a bit. That's because it's... I don't think you can actually grow table coral anywhere. I might have to try it just to see. See if you can somehow grow table coral as well, then you can become much more self-sufficient. Also, yes, I am aware that the video is not playing great for Subnautica. I might play around with that at some point and see if I can make it perform a little bit better. Computer chip is what we want here. So we've got all the things we actually want. And not enough space in the locker to put the extra... Actually, I guess we can put the extra Sea Glide in the one of the lockers on the Cyclops. It won't hurt to have a spare one there. We're going to do that with a lot of the spare tools we've been given, actually.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
Okay, engine efficiency. Ooh. 300% efficiency. For every unit of fuel you put in, you get 3 units out again. I always get vaguely amused by things like that just don't really make any sense. So we want to find lead. Have we got enough lead for any more? Yes. That'll do. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We need 2 titanium as well. Which also means that we can finally stop this room from precariously hanging off the edge somewhere. At some point I should also see if they've unfixed a fix they put in a while ago. Because it used to be the case that you could build a base up to the surface and then build a bunch of foundations that actually counted towards your hull strength. Which meant that you didn't need to put foundations down underwater if you thought it would make things look ugly, but they would still count towards base strength. which, you know, whatever works, I guess. But this should also eventually let us get right down into here, which is great, because that will just let us build some thermal power down there. Which is a free way to power our base indefinitely then. Okay, we're going to need more food and water. We should also now have some space to put things like the toy car away. We probably don't need a toy car, if we're honest. It's cute that it's in the game, but yeah, necessary? Probably not. Okay, that thing's technically still running, but that's because we have full power, so it doesn't actually matter. We still need more water. Did I leave any bottles in here? I honestly don't remember. No. Only we had some convenient way of getting access to more water.
All systems online.
Okay. Now, let's try all this business with the Cyclops again.
Powering up.
And try not to do what I've done so many times before, where I actually just run it aground on some sort of atoll. It turns out I am bad at piloting subs. I do wish it was faster though. That's the great advantage the Seamoth does have, is you can actually go places. So if we can find some nickel, we can upgrade the depth of the Cyclops to enough that we can get to the alien power plant. So I think from the data that we have, that's 1200 meters. And if memory serves, then the level 2 depth module will take you to 15. Yes, cameras, not lights. But if we can get down to 1500, that will get us to the thermal plant, which is enough. Or hopefully enough that we can then get to where the kyanite is. Which will then also let us get the level 3 depth module. and the thermal power module. Looking at the thermal power module, then we don't need to worry about anything else, because just being in places like the inactive lava zone will likely recharge all of the power for us. Okay, so there's the blood kelp and that one random, by the looks of it, highly infected crab squid. Is it trying to attack? Is it sticking itself to the sub? I'm not entirely sure what it's trying to do at this point. Okay. I think we've managed to leave it behind. So, those are probably then the blood kelp floating islands, which means we need to head around a little bit further to get to the regular floating islands. Although the floating blood kelp islands are still really cool. I just feel they're less likely to have prawn fragments on them. Again, if anybody knows differently, feel free to chime in and let me know. Ooh, I just noticed there is a horrible red thing coming towards us. That's now decided to leave us alone. I should probably pay more attention to that radar. It seems a little bit silly to ignore it quite as much as I do. We've still only used 1% power, so that engine efficiency module is really good. And that includes the 1%. Well, included in that 1% is the amount of power we use to try and run over a crab squid. I might just turn some lights on as well, actually. Because I had this horrible feeling that we're in a place we did not want to be. Yep. Neon snakes everywhere. I'm not surprised we were attacked by a neon snake. Where's the welder? So we've got one on the side and one aft. Emergency repairs!
Passing 100 meters. Oxygen efficiency decreased.
I have to admit, as annoying as it is, I really do like this mechanic since they've added it. The whole sort of like hull damage happens, but you can fix it, and then it stops leaks, and you've got to worry about potential fires and things. And it, like, this game is really well thought out.
All systems online.
But yeah, I think that cratery bit that the PDA was warning us about last time that we just went into again is supposed to be basically the edge of the world. So we, probably don't want to dive there. Especially given there are plenty of places we can actually go to dive and explore elsewhere. Either that, or we just need to start building like the shield module and things for the Cyclops. A vent or a smoker? That's a smoker. Oh dear, you're a big hungry fellow. At least you're not a neon snake. The neon snakes are really creepy.
Rig for silent running. Warning, creature attack.
I know there's a creature attack. We're going to pretend to be dead for a while until it goes away. We'll try and hope it goes away anyway.
Warning, external hull damage.
I'm not surprised. Ow!
Integrity low. Hull integrity critical. Planet flagged pre-emergency speed. Warning, vessel counterfeit. Excessive noise.
Crap. So we might need another Cyclops soon. I think the plan here is going to be try not to die to that Sea Dragon Emperor thing while we fix the sub, if we can fix the sub. That was... yeah, that went worse than I was expecting, we'll put it that way. Let's go have a... oh, that looks like there's still some damage there. Don't know. Oh, internal damage. Oh, fire. Okay. Where's the fire? It's got more health. We're not completely dead yet. Okay. There's no more fires, which is a good start. We're at least in vaguely the place I wanted to be. Just, you know, maybe not in as good a shape as I wanted to be. But we somehow didn't straight up die?
Ahead standard.
Because, yeah, we're now back at the enforcement platform, which is... at least I thought it was near the floater islands.
For silent running.
I don't really want you to attack us again, thank you. What I'd really, really like is if you could go somewhere else and, like, leave us alone for a bit. That would be fantastic. I don't know what I just ran into. It didn't do any damage, so I'm going to pretend it didn't happen. Okay, there's some wreckage here. Let's see if we can remotely safely... was that an emperor, or is that a neon snake? It doesn't look glowy enough to be a neon snake. I'm not willing to gamble on what it is at this point. That's just going to be Cyclops engine, hasn't it? Nuclear reactor, nuclear reactor. I don't care. I mean, I'm assuming there is a way into this wreckage somewhere. Probably not through the engine. Hey, some water. Okay, how did we get in? Because we probably want to back out again for a second. That away. May as well drink it. Let's go grab this box. Let's have a quick look around to see if there's anything else interesting down here, other than a lot of water. That's not interesting. That's not interesting. There's a Reaper over there. That's scary, but not interesting. And breathe. So our way in was up here somewhere, I think. Right here. Wool shelves. It's another thing I really do enjoy on this game is just the number of hey, you can be a Fremen. Just the number of like little things that you can learn how to fabricate and build and whatever else. And it's just, it's not necessary. It's just a really nice touch, and it's kind of like, yeah, that's kind of sweet in a way. Oh, I still got some air. Let's go down for this data box. Oh, I've already got alien containment. I didn't need that. So basically, this entire bit was a complete waste of time. I guess we got, you know, the ability to make some shelves. And hello, ABOD. All our lights are off again. I would like lights, please. Is that just because silent running is on now? Yeah, we're trying to find the prawn suit in case you hadn't picked that up yet. The problem is I have no idea where the parts of the prawn suit can be found. Which does make the whole process rather difficult because there are 18 more pieces to find. I found the obvious two, basically. This place looks really, really interesting, but also entirely useless right now. And if I was going to come through here, I would almost certainly have to do it in the Seamoth. But yeah, I think we've been going for a couple of hours, so I will probably be stopping this, well, at least this stream soon. If you are interested in what I do here, there is another stream starting later on this evening. There is a poll up for what we end up doing on that stream on my Twitter, which you should be able to find from one of the announcements underneath the video. It is mostly retro games and also occasionally Subnautica, and at some point there's probably going to be some Red Alert 3 because there are complaints that games like Warwind do not have enough Tim Curry in them. Which are valid complaints, but let's at least try and point back towards home before we stop the stream. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave this one for now. If people are around later, I will talk to you later. Bye!